Americans now have more credit card debt than at any time in American history, and the number in the New York Fed's own database has climbed to more than $1.2 trillion, showing no signs of slowing. For social media, it is not a scary chart. It is an official record, and it is growing every quarter. No one told you that. The real story of 2026 is not the scale of debt, but what kind of debt it has quietly become, sometime between 2022 and now. American credit cards are no longer a convenience and have become a survival tool for tens of millions of families. In the next 8 minutes, I'll show you how we got here, who was crushed, and what that means for your wallet this year. Stick to my point, because the third point in this video should really worry you. Let's look back. When the pandemic hit in March 2020, something strange happened because credit card balances actually fell for the first time in a decade. Stimulus checks landed, people stayed home, and for about 18 months, household balance sheets looked almost healthy. Inflation followed, and the Fed panicked. Starting in March 2022, Jerome Powell launched the fastest tightening cycle in 40 years, pushing the federal funds rate all the way from near zero to a range of 5.25%, 5.50% in July 2023. Most people miss what happens to credit cards in that environment. Mortgage rates are rising, car loans are rising, but credit card APR is vertical because they are linked to prime rates and have high profit margins. By the end of 2024, the Federal Reserve's own G.19 report recorded the average APR of cards charging more than 21% interest. And bank interest rates recorded more than 30% of retail store cards, which were less credit cards than payday loans with Visa marks. The total balance exceeded $1 trillion for the first time in August 2023, reaching $1.13 trillion at the beginning of 2024, rolling northward by $1.2 trillion to 2025. This is Chapter 1. Now that is where it gets ugly. If debt levels are the only problem, Americans are always in debt. The real warning sign is what happened to the person holding it. Every quarter, the New York Fed releases a household debt and credit report, and in its 2024 report, they mark things that have not been marked in more than a decade. Severe credit card defaults, borrowers who missed 90 days or more, climbed to their highest level since the end of the Great Recession in 2011. We are not in a recession, unemployment is still historically low, but debt defaults are just like us. The reason is simple. The headline economy and the desktop economy have split into two different worlds. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia, which tracks the country's largest issuers, the proportion of cardholders paying only the lowest amount hit its highest level in about 12 years in 2024. Record Americans don't pay the balance at all, just to keep the lights from being cut off. Pain is unevenly distributed. According to New York Fed researchers, Generation Z and millennial borrowers are leading a surge in outstanding payments, while the default rate of subprime borrowers is much higher than the normal level before the epidemic. And high-quality borrowers with FICO scores above 750 are basically in good condition. Economists have begun calling it a K-type debt economy, in which the top of K is doing well and the bottom is flooding. And the gap between the two in 2026 is greater than in modern memory. That is where I want to slow down. Because now, there are three forces working backstage, and almost no connection on YouTube, which together explain why 2026 feels different. First, student loans are back. In October 2023, about 40 million Americans resumed federal student loan payments. Earlier, the United States suspended loans for 3.5 years, bringing hundreds of dollars a month back to family accounts. For many borrowers, the money came directly from the credit card budget, and the balance they used to pay off in full began to roll. Second, buy now and pay later. After Klarna, Afterpay, PayPal Pay, all broke out between 2022 and 2025. Here are the dirty secrets. Most BNPL loans do not appear in traditional credit reports, which is why economists began calling them phantom debt. Billions of dollars of debt that are virtually invisible in official statistics. In May 2024, the CFPB tried to address this issue through an explanatory rule that classified BNPL as credit card protected BNPL. But lenders basically did not see the underlying debt itself, meaning that the real number behind the $1.2 trillion headline was almost certainly higher. Third, that is what you should care about. Interest rate cuts starting in September 2024 and continuing through 2025 should have reasonably pulled down credit card APRs. Credit card APRs have barely changed. Issuers maintain spreads, collect deposits, and consumers continue to pay 22%, 23%, and 24% of the rolling balance. Homeowners' mortgage relief never extended to cardholders. Dragged down by inflation, hit by student loan payments, submerged in intangible BNPL debt. And even when the Federal Reserve cut interest rates, card APR received zero relief. This is the reality of 2026. Now let's talk about Washington and Wall Street, because two developments have changed the playing field. Late fee disputes first emerged. In March 2024, Roche Chopra, the director of CFPBB, set a rule to limit credit card late fees to $8, below the average of nearly $32, which Mr. Chopra said would save more than $10 billion a year for American households. The banking industry sued almost immediately. A federal judge in Texas blocked the rule, and the legal battle dragged on until 2025. As a consumer, your bottom line is that the $8 ceiling is not actually in your wallet, and most issuers still operate in a fee structure that looks very similar to 2023. The second is the merger of Initiative and Discovery. The deal was announced in February 2024, with a share price of about $35 billion, merging two of the largest credit card companies in the United States. Senator Elizabeth Warren and consumer advocates argue that this will undermine competition for subprime mortgages, where the most vulnerable borrowers live, while supporters argue that it will create a real competitor for Visa and MasterCard. Either way, the results are the same: more concentrated, with fewer participants, which is crucial to the future interest rates and maturities you will see in a market already dominated by 6 issuers. In general, what exactly do you do with this information? 3 major benefits. First, if you have a balance, math is cruel. Consider the average balance of cardholders in the United States. Experian locks it in around $6,500. Runs at an annual interest rate of 2.2%. Pays only the minimum payment. And you see more than 25 years of settlement, with interest exceeding $9,000. The minimum payment is not a payment plan, but a constraint. Second, focus on your utilization and APR, not just your balance. In 2026, people with good credit are better off transferring their balance to a 0% introduction card or merging fixed-rate personal loans in the range of 10 to 13%. You're not eliminating debt, you're curbing it. Third, the macro story has nothing to do with whether total debt continues to rise, because they will continue to rise. The real story is who is carrying it. If you sit in the bottom half of K, the safety net is thinner than it has been for a long time. So set up a contingency fund, because even $1,000 in cash changes the equation. That is the difference between an unexpected bill and a new revolving balance. Is 2026 a credit card crisis? To be honest, it depends on who you ask, because debt as a share of disposable income is not at 2008 levels. Banks are not on fire, and the system is not collapsing. But for the tens of millions of households at the bottom of K, this must be a crisis. And the data has been quietly telling us that this is every quarter. If this breakdown helps you see the image clearly, click the like button. Subscribe and tell me in the comments if you have a balance now, or are trying to pay it off. I read each reply, and we'll see you in the next.